Today we're going to talk about water supply. This is meant for the probie all the way up to the seasoned firefighter. Today we're going to cover a little bit about hydrated areas, what you would do in a water shuttle situation, and general advice. So when we talk about a hydrated area, location, location, location. Where's the building located in relationship to the hydrant? Is the hydrant down the street? How far down the street? All those things matter. The fire load of the building. So how big is the building? What's in the building? Do you need a relay pump? Have you practiced it lately? I know we all think we can do it, but have we practiced it? So we need to practice our relay pumping. There's too many variables that can happen during a fire. You need to be skilled at adapting to the situation so that it's second nature, not that you have to think through it. Supply line. What, when, where, and how. What line are you going to use? Where are you going to lay it? When are you going to lay it? And how are you going to lay it? I've seen this time and time again. We lay 2.5 and we really should have laid 5-inch, or we should have laid 2.5s. And then we laid the 5-inch, but we scattered it all over the place. And now we can't get trucks in and out. I've been on situations where the supply line's laid and it's all over the road and we can't even get the ladder truck up there. We have to shut down the line to get the ladder truck in position. So all those things need to be factored in before we commit ourselves and throw that line down. And then capacity. What is the capacity of the hydrant in that area? We all know that that can vary. So you need to know your areas. If you have a marking system, you need to use it, understand it, and make sure that it stays up to date. Other factors, are you on a water tower or are you on a pump system? So if you're on a pump system, so you don't have a water tower and you've got a pump operation going, you may need to, if you've got a big fire going and you're using a lot of water, you may need to contact your DPW, and they probably have a system where one pump is running for a while and then they have a backup pump, those kind of things. They may need to up the pressure for you. So be aware of those situations, know your water system, work with your DPW. Even in a hydrated area, you may need to supplement. I had a situation where I had a large fire in a hydrated area. We were kind of on the end. We were on the end of the main, and we ran a tanker operation beside the hydrated line. So we had master streams going off the hydrant, and we also were supplying a master stream with a tanker operation. So you may have to do that. So be aware of that, what areas you might have to do that. Again, know the system, know your water system, know the schematics of it. Work with your local water company so that you understand it. Maintenance. How good is your water company? How good are they to work with? Do they maintain the system? You may need to, so to speak, help them maintain it. And did you train? Again, this always goes back, everything we do goes back to training. Did you practice it? Did you flow water off that hydrant? Did you use it? What was the capacity of it? How consistent was it? So a water shuttle or a tanker operation, the location of everything is important. Where's the fire building? Where's the water source? How do we access both? Fire load is obviously important. How big is the building? What's in it? That tells us how much water we're going to need. And then the type of source that we're working with. So is it a static source or is it a hydrant? Is it a pond or is it a swimming pool? Is it a storage tank of some kind or is it a hydrant? I caution you to look at the time involved when we're talking about a water shuttle or a tanker operation. And to give you the best example, we used to, years ago, we had a static water source. It was a pond. We had installed a dry hydrant. The problem was this dry hydrant was about 500 feet off of the highway. So we started out, when we started using it, we started running the tankers all the way back there, filling them up, and then coming back out to the road. We found that took a lot of time. So then we decided, okay, we're going to stick a pumper down there and we're going to pump up to the road and we're going to fill those tankers up at the road. Well, that took time because you got to lay all that hose out. And the other factor is that remember that when you lay that hose out, you got to fill the hose up, and then that takes water, and you've got to maintain that. So it was quite an operation. So then we found that there was a hydrant. We had an incident with a fire, and we realized there is a hydrant that was about a mile further away, but we started filling at both places, and we found that the tankers could get to the hydrant get filled up, and get back to the fire quicker than going to that static source that was actually closer to the fire. So all these factors need to be thought about. Manpower and time. Those are factors that you need to consider with your tanker shuttle. The size matters on the dump tank. The larger the better. Trying to pump a working fire with a 1,000-gallon dump tank is really quite a challenge. So having a larger dump tank is better. I know those small ones are easy to handle, but the larger dump tank, you're always better off. Location, you need to decide where you're going to put it. Is it going to be up near the fire building, or is it going to be down by the road where the tankers don't have to go up the driveway? One of the other things I want to say is that you want to put that dump tank in a situation where you can do the relay pump or the relay water shuttle, where the tankers are coming in one way and going out the other. So the location of the dump tank is crucial to make that happen. Dedicated pumper to that dump tank. Supplying the attack lines is hard enough without having to manage a draft on a dump tank. So have a pumper dedicated to the dump tank, have it supplying the pumper that is running the attack lines. And you have a built-in backup in the system were you to have a problem with one of the pumpers. Supply line, who, when, what, where, and how. Just like with the hydrated area, what size line are you going to drop, where are you going to drop it, and when are you going to drop it. You don't want to block access if you can help it. All those things are factors that you need to think about. And then safety. We've done this for years. We take an old fuel truck and we make it into an emergency vehicle, and it wasn't meant to do that. And then we stick somebody in it who isn't well trained and not experienced with driving trucks, and we have tankers rolling over. We also back over people. We don't have good lighting in these areas sometimes. There's all kinds of bad things that can happen in a tanker operation, so we need to be mindful of safety when it comes to a tanker operation. So in general, with water supply, the number one thing is to pre-plan. We need to know where that water source is, and we need to know how much we're going to need. Don't be afraid to overdo it. I had 13 tankers lined up at one point on a large fire one night. That wasn't overdoing it. We never ran out of water. Train on it. I know you think that running a water shuttle is simple, but until you've done it and do it repeatedly, you're not going to be good at it. Same thing with operating off of a hydrant. Work with your DPW. You need to have a good working relationship. If you have a hydrated area, you need to understand the system. You need to understand what they're doing as far as maintenance, and work with them. You might be able to help them and they'll help you. FDC, when we get on the scene of a building I've seen it too many times, we get on the scene with a building with a sprinkler system and we don't hit the FDC and we don't supply it with water. We need to supplement the water supply in these situations where we have a sprinkler system. And then rinse and repeat. And what I mean by that is we constantly need to be pre-planning. We need to update those pre-plans. We need to constantly train and think about what we're doing when it comes to water supply. Remember, water is our ammunition. When we're going to battle, we don't want to run out of bullets. If you have questions, or you want to know more, or you just want to argue with me, you can text me or call me. You can also find me on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, or you can just email me. I represent RT Insurance. We have all kinds of insurance products for all types of businesses, but I concentrate on emergency services and fire departments. Thanks for watching.